Okay. Hello, hello, hello. And there's something I forgot to start. But also there's a new update. Oh, never mind. Like this. Isn't this great? This is me now. And also I got played around with the mic settings yesterday and today. Hopefully you can hear it and hear the quality improved. Yeah, and hopefully the way I think it's better now, but there might still be some mismatches with the streaming software. We will see. Because I still want the voice to be crisp even when I'm whispering. But also when I'm spooked and might get a little bit louder. And yeah, then I'll also need to hopefully have a good voice even when it's louder outside. Though it shouldn't be, not at this time. Anyhow, I want to play Demon Bluff today. Demon Bluff is an interesting game I found in one of the Steam Next Fests. It has been in playtest for quite some time, even by the time I found it, but it is still in playtest. And recently it got picked up by a publisher, and I don't know if it's Northern Lions publisher himself or if he's just partnered in another kind of deal, but they're apparently working together. Yeah, but seems it's good news for them. There have been some patches. I played this before off stream months ago, so I know a bit about the game, but there have been some changes that I haven't seen yet, and it's just such a cute game with interesting gameplay, but also really cute art style, and I wanted to show it to you. So let's do that. Now, where are we? Something is not working again. Show me Demon Bluff. Capture specific window. Why is this not working? Because I needed to have it active. Okay. Yes, this is Demon Bluff. I'll start from the beginning. And also, is there a way to... Yeah, I played in window mode. That way... And then transform... Fit to screen? Yes. That way you hear the music. No, it doesn't. Okay, there's some... Yeah, then I can close the window mode. So it stops the music when I'm tapping out, which I have to do every now and then. Yeah, let me show you the game. So it is a social deduction game, and well, the tutorial is kind of self-explanatory, but I will zoom through it a little bit faster, just because, yeah, I already know how it's played. But if you want me to slow down at any time, maybe read about the characters, please let me know. So there's one evil hiding among our characters. Find it and kill it. That's the minion. The minion doesn't have any special skills. So we reveal all the cards, all the characters. Each card is a character. And they give us hints. And different characters give us different hints. Also, they have different ways in which they lie, if they lie. So sometimes they lie, sometimes they tell the truth. And the evil minion always lies. So evil characters always lie, which is important. So it's not that they can lie, like you would assume in a social deduction game like Werewolf or Mafia are similar. They have to lie. So let's take a look at oopsie. What was the hotkey for drawing again? Space, right. So the game crafter is saying that number 1 is good, that number 5 is good. The lover is saying both adjacent characters are good. So it's basically saying that these two are good. The confessor is an interesting character because if an evil character disguises themselves as the confessor, it wouldn't work if they wouldn't also confess. So if the confessor says they are good, they are guaranteed good. This is a guaranteed good character. The gem crafter number 3 says he himself is good. And the hunter says they are 1 card away from the closest evil, so is saying that both of these are good, and one of either 3 or 5 is lying. And we can already tell that because we know the confessor is definitely good. No, not because of that. That's not the causality, but these 4 make a good net of characters who are vouching for each other, and this gem crafter is kind of out of it. Also, there are 2 gem crafters, which right now means one of those has to be the evil character. Later on, as we get more character cards, also evil cards with special skills, and neutral cards, then there might be other reasons why there are actually 2 villagers of the same type. But right now we know for a fact that one of these gem crafters is evil. This one has 2 people vouching for him. This one doesn't. So we are pretty sure this gem crafter is the minion. And the village is safe. And yeah, as we play this game, we unlock some new character types with different traits. Also, some of them have active abilities that they can use. So you pick a character with the judge, you pick a character to learn if they're lying or not, which of course is only helpful if the judge themselves is truthful, because the judge can lie himself. We are searching for 1 minion again, unlocking all the cards. Yes, that's a tutorial telling us about the active ability. Again, we know the confessor is good. Definitely. This gem crafter is saying number 5 is good. This lover is again vouching for its neighbors. This medium is vouching for the confessor. which makes the medium confirmed good, because right now the only lying character is the minion. There are no... Sometimes you can also have good villagers that lie, sometimes because they're corrupted or for other reasons. But right now we know the medium is good. The Enlightened says the closest evil is counterclockwise, so he's basically saying, because we know the Confessor is good, that the Judge is evil, and he's also saying that this Gemcrafter is good. But I'm kind of not sure about him, because, again, in this network of people talking about each other, he's kind of an outsider. Later on we will have outcast cards, so I'm trying to find a good word for it. Outsider might not be the best, but he's not part of the network of people vouching for each other. So what we might want to do is use the Judge on the Enlightened, which we then could use as another source of information. But right now, an even better way to do this is maybe use the Judge on the Confessor, because the Judge himself is or herself, I don't know, is the only other character that I'm not 100% about. No, actually, it has to be the Enlightened. The Judge can't be the minion, because then the lover would have been lying as well. So this Enlightened, we don't even need to use the ability, but we can use it. We can, for example, use this on the Enlightened, and he should say the Enlightened is lying, because it's a minion. There we go. Two new characters, the Wretch and the Empress. I will explain them, no need to read it there. I will explain it as we see them. So, looking at this third board, I can already, like, my eyes are instantly drawn to, there's two hunters. Also, the Wretch is always confirmed good, but other characters will think the Wretch is evil. So this hunter thinks probably that this Wretch is evil, even though they're good. Yeah, I register as a random evil minion to other characters. Oh, also their skins. Oh. Okay, I don't have any unlocked, it seems. And obviously they're also kind of pointing at each other. They're both... It has to be one of those two. We already know that for the same logic as earlier. That one of that there's two hunters, but there's only supposed to be one. So what we can do now is, because we know everyone else is good already, and we have him saying number 2 is the real hunter. Actually, we already know then that this hunter is evil, but we can also get the same information if this one is lying, so we know if this hunter is evil, and the village is safe. New characters unlock. The next minion, the twin minion, and the jester. Pick 3 characters, learn how many of them are evil. This also was not changed, it's the same as before the patch. So let's reveal our board. We know the Wretch is good. The hunter is looking at the Wretch, which is trustworthy. The hunter is also saying that the Judge and the Gemcrafter are good, indirectly, right? We know the Confessor is good. The Enlightened is saying number 6 is... the evil is in this direction, which is basically saying that the Empress is good, right? And there's 2 Enlightened. This one is kind of trustworthy, because she's looking at the Wretch and she is identifying the Wretch. Now, what other information do we have? We do have 2 enlightened, but we don't have anything else that is a double. But that doesn't mean that it is both enlightened. That could also mean that one of them, one of the evil is hiding as another minion, as another villager. So, let's think about it for a bit. We still have the ability of the judge to use. We still have not inferred any information from the Empress. The Empress is saying that 3, 4, 6, 1 is evil. So, these 3, one of them is evil. Which I would say is kind of putting shade on this enlightened. No, but this enlightened is definitely saying the truth. So then there's still shade on the judge and the hunter. We could use the ability of the judge on the wretch. Or, well, not on the wretch, but on the confessor. That's a better call. We know the confessor is saying the truth. So this would help us self-identify the judge. So if we do that, we know for a fact whether or not the judge was evil or not. But then that doesn't help us learn too much about the Empress themselves. Because they might still all be good, all 3 of them. And it might be the Empress and the Enlightened, which we wouldn't exclude. Like, we wouldn't be able to eliminate that option. But we can, even if we are wrong, we only lose a little bit of health. So you're allowed to be wrong once or twice. Well, depending on the board. Some characters cost more life than others. But in this instance, we're allowed to be wrong once. So we could try to use the judge ability, and if he was evil, we identified him instantly, and also the hunter. But if he's saying the truth, we still don't. If he's saying that the confessor is saying the truth, then we still don't know whether or not the hunter is evil or not. Yeah, then it might still be the gemcrafter. No, wait, there's still a disconnection, right? This gemcrafter is saying this number 6 is good. So we know that this gemcrafter is good because we know the enlightened is good. Which means it has to be either the judge themselves or these 2. And if it is the judge, then the Empress is good and the enlightened is lying. So we solved it, I think. Let's check our theory. So the judge is good. Then now we know for certain the hunter is good as well. Which only leaves the enlightened and the Empress. Twin minion, yes, killed. And the enlightened. And the village is safe. All evil characters have been executed. New characters unlocked. Village 4, the Bombardier and the Knight. The Knight can't die, and the Bombardier costs us all our health. We lose instantly if we kill him and it wasn't a minion. Now, as per usual, we start with the Confessor. Confessor is definitely good. The Gemcrafter is saying the Empress is good. The Hunter is throwing shade on the Empress and the Enlightened. The medium is saying this Empress is real. And we have two Empresses, so this is making it very likely that one of them is the minion or twin minion. One of them is evil, at least. Closest evil is counterclockwise, which means she's also saying the medium is good. Okay. I am one card away from the closest evil. Nobody is vouching for the hunter themselves. Nobody is talking about the bombardier. Wait, actually, we still have the two Empresses. I didn't look at them. One is evil 1, 4, 5. So there's a triangle like this. And this one is 4, 5, 7. So both of them have 4 and 5 in them. So this is interesting because now here's the trick, right? If the Empress lies, all characters in the info are good. We know at least one of them is lying. We don't know which one, but because we know one of them is lying, we know for a fact that both the Hunter and this Enlightened are good, 100%. Wait, unless both Empresses are minion and twin minion. Never mind, unless they are both the evil, which is possible, I think. Let me think about it for a moment. Because here are the issues that I have. Because let's say this Empress is evil, for example. Then 4 and 5 are good. Which means this medium is good. But then why is he saying that this Empress is real? So that can't be. Because we would have 3 people lying. So this Empress can't be... Yeah, actually, we know this already. This Empress can't be evil. So let's assume the other Empress on number 3 is evil. That would mean 4, 5, and 7 are good. That works. This Gemcrafter would be lying. So this would be the second evil. And would this still make sense? Closest evil is counterclockwise. Yes, this would also work. So, and I'm 1 card away from the closest evil. Would also work. So this Empress is evil and this Gemcrafter. And the village is safe. No mistakes so far. We got a new evil character, the Witch, which stops us from revealing all the cards, and the Scout. Learn how far a specific evil is to another closest evil. Will probably make more sense once we see it. Now, the last card we can't reveal. We know the Confessor is good, which is basically the lover saying the number 8 is evil. The medium is vouching for this lover. We have 2 bombardiers, but we know for a fact we only have 1 outcast. So one of these bombardiers, this time for sure, one of these bombardiers is evil. This Hunter is throwing shade on the Judge and this bombardier. So I'm really curious, really suspicious of this bombardier so far. And we have an active ability from the Judge, which we can use if we want to make sure. Now, we do have 2 evils. And I don't think the lover can be evil, because then that would mean the medium light, the lover is evil, and number 8 is evil. No, wait. No, because if the lover is evil, this one is good. Never mind. So it could be the medium and the lover. But then we are missing one of the bombardiers. And it can't be a bombardier and the lover, so I think this is... Yeah, so if this wasn't a bombardier, I would just kill him. I'm pretty certain it's him, but because it is the bombardier, we really want to be 100% certain and make sure that we eliminated all other ways that this board could hide the 2 evil characters. We can use the judge on the medium, because then it's definitely a chain that only works if saying the truth. Now it's a chain that only works if there were more than 3 evils, which there are not. It's only 2. So we know these 3 are good, which means we know this one is evil. And this only works... Yeah, this person is now throwing shade on the bombardier for certain, because we know this one is good. And we know it's only... Yeah. There was no other way. The bar. Hide 1 outcast in the deck. So the outcast is now hidden. We don't know which kind of outcast it is. So it could be... it could be a wretch or a bombardier. But the wretch is special. So if this was a bombardier card, then... No, actually, right now, we don't have too many outcasts roles that are possible. But sometimes it can be that this is in reality a minion, like an evil character, a real evil character, not just a hiding, not just a wretch evil character. But the wretch is always good because cannot be disguised as. This is important. Nobody can disguise as a wretch. So if we see a wretch, she's real. The knight cannot die. So what we can do is we can just try to kill her. And it didn't work, so now we know she's good. The hunter is basically saying these 2 are good, which we know they are. The confessor is always good, which means we know he's saying the truth. So he's good as well. And he's throwing shade on these 2, which makes sense. They're also the same role. This enlightened is throwing shade on the Empress and is saying the scout is good. And the scout is saying the bar is 1 card away from the closest evil, which might be true because the scout sees the wretch as an evil character. So it's definitely one of those empresses. And it's more likely to be this one because of this enlightened. I'm thinking there are a couple of ways this could be. It could be both empresses could be evil, but yeah, both empresses could be evil. And this one would have to be the bar, which would then be next to the wretch, so the scout would be saying the truth. So that would work, but it could also be It could also be this Enlightened and this Empress, I think. So it could be those two. And wait, no, it can't be, right? It can't be those two, because then they would be next to each other. No, which also leaves the bar, like, saying, being closest to being next to the minion. So the scout would still be saying the truth. But then that doesn't work, because the Enlightened, then, yeah, because it can't be, the Enlightened can't be together with the Empress, because then that would turn the statement of the Enlightened into something truthful, but we know evils have to lie. So it has to be both Empresses. Yes, okay. 2 new character roles. The Slayer has an active to execute someone, and the Knitter. Learn how many evils are adjacent to each other. There's one, okay, only one evil, but 2 outcasts. Interesting. But it also says there's only 1 outcast. So, if I see this right... So this might be a Bombardier, but I don't think it is. Number 1... Gamecraft is saying number 1 is good. Lava is saying... We know the Confessor is good. Lava is basically saying number 6 is evil. And that's not too much information to go on. But what we might try is use the Slayer on the number 6. And if number 6 was evil, then it gets killed. And that's the game. If he doesn't kill it, that basically means that I don't think it's possible. Yeah. It had to be number 6. Yeah, it's too late to explain now, but it had to be number 6. New characters unlocked. The Poisoner. Now we get started with corruption. One adjacent villager is corrupted, and a corrupted character lies, and their ability doesn't work. So they kind of look like an evil character. And the bard, learn how far I am from the closest corrupted character. This is new. This got changed in the patch. This was different before. Let's hope I don't get too confused by it. Let's reveal all characters. All unique characters, so we don't have any duplicates. I am 4 cards. We have 1 corrupted character somewhere. We have 2 evils, which means we have 3 liars. 3 people lie. Unless the Poisoner got stuck into a corner with the Bombardier and squished in by the minion, because he only corrupts villagers, not outcasts. So if he was squished into a corner with the Bombardier, we have only 2 liars. Otherwise we have 3. Now, what information do we have? There's only 1 pair of evil. The Knitter is basically saying they are next to each other, which is it's possible, but just statistically a little bit unlikely. But even more so, the scout is saying the Poisoner is 3 cards away from the closest evil. That's basically saying that they are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, that they're far away from each other. Kind of the same. the same probability that that's true. I'm 4 cards away from a corrupted character. Means that it is either 1, 2, 3, 4. This, he's basically saying the judge is corrupted, which is saying that the knitter is the... Oh no. No, there has to be a bombardier. There is only one bombardier, so this has to be a real bombardier. Which means the bard is saying the knitter is the... Oops. The knitter is the poisoner. That's what the bard is saying. So what we might... And this is in alignment with what the lover is saying, right? The lover is saying one of these is evil. So we have kind of 2 people pointing at the knitter. We still have the active ability from the jester and the judge and the slayer. And what I'm thinking of doing is just trying the slayer on the knitter to see if the bard was truthful. And he was. Okay. So we know the slayer is good. It's very likely this is good. It's very likely that the judge is corrupted. We know the lover is saying the truth. Poison is 3 cards away from the closest evil, so he is now saying, because we know where the poisoner is, that's either the jester or the bard is evil. Does that make sense? We know it's not the bard, so he's basically saying the jester is the second evil. So what we could try to do is use the jester's ability and see if he's lying, because right now he's really, really really suspicious. It's either the scout or the jester, right? And the judge is definitely lying. We know the jester is lying. I don't have a sign for the jester. Let's just make it a C for corrupted. So we could use the judge to verify whether or not the scout is lying. By doing this. So the judge is saying the scout is lying, but we know the judge himself is lying. So we know the scout is saying the truth, which is saying the jester is the minion. 2 new characters. The fortune teller and the oracle. The fortune teller has picked 2 cards, characters, cards. Learn if any of them is evil. The oracle has learned that 1 out of 2 characters is a specific minion role. I think this got changed as well. Maybe it becomes more self-explanatory once we see it in action. So we know the witch is good. The enlightened is saying this bombardier is good. And because the witch is already on the 2nd position, he's basically saying the jester is evil, because otherwise it would be the same distance, in which case the enlightened says equidistant. Oops. The gemcrafter is saying the knight is good. Scout minion is 1 card away from closest evil, so they are supposed to be next to each other. Also, we only have 1 outcast, but we have 2 outcast roles. So this is interesting. So doesn't that just mean that the bombardier is evil? I think it does. I think this just means the bombardier is evil. But because it's the bombardier, I want to think through this some more, just to be safe. Then the enlightened has to be the 2nd evil. No, it doesn't have to be. Could be corrupted. So if this is the minion, And yeah, if this is the minion and this is the poisoner, he could have corrupted the enlightened, and the scout would still be saying the truth because the minion is next to the wretch, which is also one card away. Also, we can use the ability on the knight. We know the knight is good. We know the gemcrafter is good and uncorrupted. We do have 2 jesters. So this goes along with the theory I had earlier. So what I'm thinking about is using the jester on... I don't think there's any way in which this jester is evil. Though I might be wrong. I don't think I've considered all possibilities quite yet, but there's so much pointing at the bombardier. Yeah, I don't think there's a way where the bombardier is, if I understand the rules correctly, like what it means when it says 1 outcast here. I don't think there is a way, a world where this bombardier is innocent. Okay, nice. So this is the poisoner, and because the wretch cannot be corrupted, because he only corrupts villagers, not outcasts, we know this enlightened is corrupted, which means the jester is good now. We know this jester is good. So it might be, the minion might be here, might be the scout, or it might be this jester. If it's this jester, the scout would be saying the truth because the minion is then next to the wretch. Or if the scout is the minion, then this would turn the statement into a lie, but also it has to be he has to be a liar, so that would work as well. Luckily enough, we still have 2 active abilities we can use. So the easiest way to do this is we use this one on the wretch, the poisoner, and this jester, and we know he's uncorrupted. We know he's saying the truth. He's saying there are 3 evils. The wretch counts as evil, so we know this jester is the minion. Village safe. New characters unlocked, so it's getting increasingly more complicated. I love this. The Plague Doctor. 1 good villager, a random good villager is corrupted. And he has an active ability, pick 1 character. If it's corrupted, learn an evil character. That is the same as before the patch. Alchemist villagers within range 2 from me are cured from corruption. Learn how many corruptions were around me. I can't be corrupted. Interesting. And we're playing with a witch again, so we can't unlock. So if I wanted to be really pro gamer, I would read all of the cards before I reveal them, but I don't. I'll just reveal them quickly. And usually it still works out fine. Again, we have only 1 outcast, but we have 2 outcast cards, characters, so one of them is evil. This enlightened is saying that the Plague Doctor is good, and the closest evil is somewhere here. What else do we have? Oracle 3 or 6 is a witch, so he's throwing shade at 3 and 6. Actually, that's yeah, no, good enough. Oracle 3 or 5. We have 2 oracles as well. 3 or 5 is a minion, so he's throwing shades on these as well. So far, the Plague Doctor is more trustworthy than the Bombardier. But also, let's think about it. There's like two evil characters and the Plague Doctor, who corrupts one of the villagers. So there's at least 3 liars and 8 cards. So all of that information isn't that reliable. So what else do we have? But also the only reason, well, the Plague Doctor has a reason why we trust him, which is disenlightened. Let's look at the information from the Empress. We didn't do that yet. 2, 4, or 6. 1 is evil. 2, 4, and 6. So, does this throw additional shade on this jester? A bit, not too much. The thing is, again, the Plague Doctor is somewhat more trustworthy than this Bombardier. But we don't just want to kill the Bombardier just because he's not as trustworthy, because if we're wrong, we lose instantly. So what we could try instead is try to find a way to verify the Enlightened. And if we know the Enlightened is good, we know the Plague Doctor is good, and we know the Bombardier is evil. Another way would be to use the ability from the Plague Doctor. Also, they might both be evil, and there might be an outcast under 8. Kind of unlikely, but I think it's possible. So how do we use the active abilities cleverly? One way I'm thinking about is just killing the Empress in the hopes that she's evil, because she, again, 2 people pointing fingers at her. And if she's evil, we know that 2, 4, and 6 are good, because if the Empress lies, all characters in my info are good. We could also... Actually, let's do that. Okay, we know the Empress was real. I should have thought this through more. Which doesn't help us too much. 2, 4, or 6. 1 is evil. Who was throwing shade on our Empress? The Oracle was throwing shade at the Empress. She is now basically saying the Bombardier is guaranteed evil. So what we could do is use the Plague Doctor on the Oracle. No, I don't think that helps. Also, the Enlightened is now... First of all, the Enlightened is saying 6 is good, now that I think about it. And they're basically also saying now indirectly that 8 is good. Do I just kill the Bombardier? Or do I use the Plague Doctor on the Oracle first? But I don't think that actually eliminates the options where the Bombardier would have been good, because the Plague Doctor would have been... Oh wait, what I can do is use the Plague Doctor on the Empress. We know it's not corrupted. He's saying he's not corrupted, which is truthful, and he would have lied if he was evil, because he has to lie. An evil character has to lie. Which then means we know the Bombardier is evil, which means we know the Oracle is good. What else do we have? And because we know that the Oracle is good, I'm thinking about now, so doesn't this just say now that this Oracle is evil then? Because it can't be this one, because if this was, yeah, can't be, he's also saying it's not the Oracle. So this Enlightened is now throwing additional shade on this Oracle. Does this make sense with everything else we have for information? This does make sense with the information from the Empress themselves, which works out. Now we could use the Jester as well, and we could use the Jester just to self-verify. What ways are there? Which worlds exist? What is the range of possible worlds where it's not the Oracle, right? If it's not the Oracle, it's the Enlightened. Does this work? Could it be the Enlightened? If it's the Enlightened, then the statement of the Oracle itself would be the lie. He might have been corrupted. So could it have been the Enlightened, Oracle corrupted, and we don't know what this person says. No, because if it is the Enlightened and the Oracle is corrupted, then that means that the minion is closest clockwise, which would be true. But if this was the witch, then the statement would need to be a lie, which it wouldn't be anymore. So it is the Oracle. Okay. Managed. The Chancellor and the Doppelganger. One villager becomes an outcast wall. I sit next to it. And Doppelganger games that I disguise as a good villager currently in play. Let's take a look at all our characters. So this is the first time we have a dizzy confessor, which makes it really, really likely that this is an evil character, but it might also be a corruption taking place. And we also have a good confessor, which throws additional shade at this confessor, but we won't act on this just yet. We have a Gam Crafter who's vouching for the Alchemist. The Alchemist is saying that none of these 5 characters is corrupted. The Hunter is saying the Confessor and the Slayer are good, indirectly. So there is a kind of network of information going on, which is saying that the Slayer is not corrupted and is not corrupted at the very least. So what I would like to do is try, very, very likely good, is use the Slayer on this Confessor Okay, so maybe the confessor was corrupted, because if this was the counselor or the bar, he would have just killed it. Yeah, I'm thinking if he was evil, he would have killed it, unless the Slayer himself is evil. But that only works if the Slayer is evil together with the Hunter. In which case, the only way the confessor is lying is if he got corrupted by the Plague Doctor, which we can check. So the Plague Doctor is saying that number 2 is corrupted, which is in alignment with what the Slayer is claiming, and is saying number 1 is evil. Now, this is not in alignment anymore with the theory that both of them are evil. So, because there are only 2 evils, not 3. So it can't be Slayer, Hunter, and Judge. Can't be. So that is probably meaning that they're both good. That's what I'm thinking. And this one is probably good then. Could it be Slayer? Could it be Slayer and Plague Doctor? Slayer and Plague Doctor, and the Hunter is corrupted? Is that possible? And then we have the Confessor is, maybe this is a real Confessor, this is a doppelganger. The Slayer is... No, then why is the Confessor... Confessor is corrupted? Well, he isn't per se, but I'm just trying to theory craft. Also, it's very unlikely that the Slayer is corrupted. So what I'm thinking is the Judge is maybe the Counselor, because he's next to the Outcast. So I could check this with using the Judge ability on the Confessor. And we know this Confessor is saying the truth, which means this Judge is definitely lying. So that was the bar. Okay. Not the Counselor. And the other thing I'm thinking is that I'm looking at this Confessor is probably a doppelganger. Then. Which would make this Judge the Counselor, which is in alignment with what the Hunter is saying about being two cards away. Yes. Village is safe. And every round. Okay, 2 new characters unlocked. The Drunk is a good outcast, but disguises as a random not in play villager. This one is important. And is corrupted and lies and cannot be cured. And the Druid, pick 3 characters, learn 1 random outcast role among them, if any. And we have 3 evils now. And a Plague Doctor. Now think about it, that means we have 4 liars. Maybe more if this is an outcast. A drunk. We can have up to 5 liars in a deck of 9 cards. But we will work our way through this, hopefully. This lover is saying both of these are evil. We have a knight here. But we also have a Plague Doctor. I was thinking, so the thing with the knight is the knight can't die, right? So if you use the knife just to kill him, so far we could quickly verify whether or not he was good just by trying to kill him. If it doesn't work, he's good. But now he might just be corrupted, because corruption means the ability doesn't work. So now that corruption is in play, it is actually possible to accidentally kill a knight. We also have a Slayer. We have 2 Druids. So we know both of these Druids are not the Drunk. Well, even then, they might still be. We also have 2 Slayers. We have a lot of active abilities, I'm noticing, and not a lot of information. One thing I would like to do is quickly verify whether or not the lava is good or not. So for example, if we killed the lava, we would instantly know whether or not the Plague Doctors and the Jester are good or not. Especially if she turns out to be good, then we know, okay, the Plague Doctor and the Jester are both evil. What are the active abilities of the Druid again? Learn one random outcast roll among them, if any. Yeah, this is a problem because of the buff. So the Sin outcast roll might be a drunk. So one of them might be a drunk who's hiding, and they might both be evil, the Plague Doctor and the Bombardier. No, actually, there have to be two. There have to be 2 outcasts, definitely. It still means there could be a drunk, but. Okay. We could also use the Slayer, one of the Slayer abilities on the lovers. But does that really help us out? I think we just need to start with the kill on the lover. And we are lucky. Okay. Got a lucky hit. And now the doppelganger is revealed. Okay, this makes sense. This explains the double Slayers and the double Druids. Which still means one of those 4 is evil, at the very least. I'm wondering what it means if the lover is lying. So, yeah, just means it's not both of them, but it still could be one of them. So one of these 4 is the doppelganger, probably. We also don't know who's corrupted by the Plague Doctor. And the Plague Doctor might be fake. Maybe we just try something. Maybe we'll just see if the Knight... So this Plague Doctor is saying... Interesting. Is saying that number 5 is corrupted. And that number 8 is evil. Does that make sense to me? Because if that is true, that would mean that would mean that at least one of those Slayers would be able to kill the Jester. Okay, that's not... They couldn't. That means that Plague Doctor is fake. See? Which means number 5 is not corrupted, which is true. Just tested it. So the Knight is good. And also those Slayers, well, it's not for sure. They might have... it's not for sure that they're good, because if they are evil, they also can't kill. But at the very least, so far, their story makes sense. So they're claiming they couldn't kill number 8. And that's true, they could not kill number 8. Yeah, and if lies, I cannot kill my target. We also now know that the Jester is definitely good. So we could use the Jester to verify, to check one character just by using the two dead characters with a third. But does that eliminate all the options? What does that? But we could check. Could we self-check the druids by, because the bombardier has to be real, right? So we could check if we pick these three. Interesting. So this is a lie. This is definitely a lie, right? Because the bombardier is 100% real. And this one should say then there's a bombardier, right? So this druid definitely lied. Now I'm thinking, could he have been corrupted by anything? No, because the plague doctor was fake. There was no plague doctor. So this is, yeah, village is safe. And I'll treat myself to a glass of milk for that. Okay. Maybe you can tell that I played this game a lot. Well, not that much. Sorry, moved away from the mic for a bit. Yeah. So, the way I've been playing this game, which I recommend, which is really, really fun. What you do is you invite your friends to a movie night. Well, not a movie night, but to a game night. And you play this in couch co-op. But not couch co-op, like in Steam. But what you do is you sit together on the couch, you put this on the big screen, and you talk through this together. And if you're a little bit faster, give your friends some time. If you're a little bit slower or don't know the rules or the characters, take your time, like ask for the time that you need, because this is so much fun, especially once it gets more complicated, because you end up always like finding a gap in the logic of your friends, or the other way around, they find a gap in your logic, and there's always, if you play this alone, it's really easy to go too fast. Even the pace that I am playing at right now, which is, it's very much, so much slower because I'm streaming it. But if you're playing this alone without streaming, you tend to go too fast, is what I feel like. It's kind of like when you're solving a chess puzzle, right? And you don't see the solution immediately, but you see a really strong move, so you just play it. This is what happens in this game really easily, is that you just try to go for the most obvious first move. But when you're playing this with friends, you can really try to get every solution on the first try without any mistakes, because yeah, it just helps to go at the puzzle from different angles at the same time. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun playing this with friends, sitting together on the couch, having some snacks, and we played this for hours and hours, until late into the night. And that's my recommended experience. But it's also fun alone, it's also fun to stream, and it's also fun to join into a stream, I hope. And backseating is allowed, by the way. You can try. I don't think I need it, but if you see something I don't, I'll be happy about it, because I just like solving puzzles together in this case. We got a new character, the Puka. At game start, villagers adjacent to me are corrupted. So he corrupts up to 2 characters. Let's reveal the board. And obviously we have a Puka in game now. Let's take a look at what everybody's saying. This lover is saying both these 2 characters are evil. This medium is saying that the plague doctor is real. this medium is saying this medium is real. This enlightened is saying this medium is real and also throwing shade into this direction. Not necessarily at the Plague Doctor themselves directly. The Bard is saying there are no corrupted characters. This sounds like a big fat lie. So this is a liar. Because we have, at the very least, no, we have to have the Plague Doctor and the Doppelganger. We have to have, because there's one outcast by base, and then there are no other cards. There's no drunk card, and one of them got added by the Chancellor. If there was a second Plague Doctor, we would see it. There could be maybe two double... No. Yeah, I don't think there can be two Doppelgangers and the Plague Doctor is fake. I think the Plague Doctor is definitely real. Well, maybe this one isn't real. No, it has to be this one, right? This Doppelganger just has to be real. Which means this medium is real. Well, could be the Doppelganger. Probably the Doppelganger. No, this one is the Doppelganger. Number 1 is the Doppelganger. Number 2 is real. This is a real Plague Doctor, and this Bard is either evil or corrupted. And there are different ways how he can get corrupted because of the Puka and the Plague Doctor. And this is then also very likely to be true. The Enlightened. But there's still a way. There's still a way that it is in actual fact different. He might be corrupted and they might be equidistant, for example. Let's think about all the ways this Bard could be corrupted. It could be from the Plague Doctor or from being next to a Puka. So the Knight could be the Puka, in which case the Lover is corrupted, which would mean then, if that all of those assumptions were true, that the Empress is actually good. So what is the Empress saying? 5, 8, or 9 has one evil. So 5, 8, 9. So this triangle. And if she's lying, which again is very likely because we have up to 5 liars in this setup, then they are all good. Now what I would like to do is use the Plague Doctor, and so this Plague Doctor is saying the Bard is not corrupted, which means he's... wait. If he's not corrupted, but we know he's lying, it just means he's evil. Okay. Now, we are still looking for 2 evils. And these 3 are kind of suspicious in their own right. We know the medium is not corrupted. He was saying the truth. Which means the Empress is not the Puka. And we already found the Chancellor, so the Empress is good. Otherwise the medium would have been corrupted. In a similar fashion, we know that the Enlightened is not the Puka. And the Druid is not the Puka, because in both versions the Enlightened would have been lying. Let me double check, because the Enlightened is only indirectly saying the medium is good, not directly. So could this still turn into a lie if the Enlightened themselves were the Puka? If the Enlightened themselves were the Puka, this would be false. There is no wretch or similar. Yes, so both the Enlightened and the Druid have to be good. And they're identifying the Chancellor, which is also working with the Empress being good, because then the distance to the Enlightened would have been equidistant. It's also good to know that the Druid is good, because we can use her ability. But she might be corrupted by the Plague Doctor. So even if we know that... Yeah, and the other thing is, we know that... because we know that the mediums, both mediums, are not corrupted, we still haven't figured out who got corrupted by the Plague Doctor. So the Druid, even then, might still be lying. So what I'm thinking right now is... Actually, let's use a different mark here, because we know she's good. We know she's good, right? But we don't know if she's lying or not. Which is a different kind of information. But because we know that the Empress is good, we know that the lover is lying, which throws shade on either of them, either the lover or the knight. Could it be both? No, it can't be both. We're only looking for one last evil. So if we know that Puka is in between those two, we already know for a fact that the Druid is good. If... Let's try to play this through. If the lover is the Puka, so the big difference between the knight or the lover being the Puka is whether or not the Empress is lying or not, which even then isn't 100% because of the Plague Doctor. So even if the Puka is hiding as a knight, the Empress might still be lying because of the Plague Doctor corruption. So what we want to do is we want to find out whether or not the Plague Doctor corrupted the Druid or not. Or he might have also corrupted the knight. Yeah, but I want to find out whether or not the Druid is corrupted or not. We can't use the active from the Plague Doctor anymore, so what we do is we use Plague Doctor medium medium. Yeah, there's a doppelganger is also learn one when an Alchemist is also in alignment. So we trust her. Not only is she good, which we already knew, but she's also not corrupted, which means this doesn't help us actually. It reduced the... There was a possibility that this helps us, so I think it was still the right play to use the active ability. But we still don't know whether or not the Empress is corrupted. No, wait. The Puka, villagers adjacent to me are corrupted, if possible. So we know for a fact she is lying. We know for a fact the Empress is lying, because the Puka is at game start, and then it's the Plague Doctor, I think. Oh no, it doesn't say. But I think that's what happens. I think the Puka corrupts first, then the Plague Doctor. So it has to be two corruptions, because the Plague Doctor then chooses someone who's not corrupted yet, maybe. I'm not 100% certain how the game sets this up. So depending on the logic of in which order they act, and whether or not I'm right about the fact that the Plague Doctor chooses a character who isn't corrupted already, means that regardless of where the Puka is hiding... No, we know... So, if my logic is correct about how the game sets this up, if the lover was the Puka, If the lover was the Puka, then the Plague Doctor would have corrupted the Druid. But because he didn't, we know that the Puka is under the Knight. And the Plague Doctor corrupted the Empress. No, that can't be as well, because then 5, 8, and 9 would have to be good. If the Empress was lying, then if the Empress is lying, maybe that's the logic. Maybe that's how we do it, and maybe the Puka and the Plague Doctor can overlap. If the Puka was I was running in circles. This should have been so much easier. So, if the Puka is under the lover and not the Knight, then the Empress is lying. Which means the Knight is good. 5, 8, and 9 are good. Which works. This can happen. But if the Puka is under the 5, then the Empress is saying the truth. Which also works. No, this doesn't help. So maybe we do this with my assumptions about how the doppelganger works. I mean, we still have 2 tries. We can just try killing one of them. The lover was corrupted. Wait, what? What? Oh, that also works. Yes. No. But then is it the Knight? Yes. Oh yeah, okay, I was confused for a moment. Yes, everything just as, like, we just solved this with the 50-50. But do we not see whether or not the other characters were corrupted or not? Ah, here, now we see. This medium was corrupted. Oh, I didn't think about this possibility at all. So, this was a doppelganger. I thought it was the other way around, right? I thought this medium was a doppelganger and this one the real one. But yeah, they were switched around, and that makes the statement number 2 is a real medium, obviously a lie, but still kind of helpful, a helpful lie, if it doesn't get discovered, because the doppelganger is still a good person. And we get 2 new characters. Okay. The Baker. Reveal, unrevealed, good villager. One random, unrevealed, good villager becomes the Baker. And the Architect. And we're looking for 2 evil characters, and one of them is the Puka again. So, okay. What do we have? Only one of these is real. Either the Bombardier or the Plague Doctor. The Confessor is dizzy. Interesting. The Lover is saying neither of them are evil. 3, 1, 2, 3. The Scout is saying Puka is 3 cards away from the minion. Whereas the Knitter is saying they are next to each other, so they are in conflict with each other. Knitter and Scout are saying the opposite things about whether or not the minion and the Puka are adjacent to each other or not. Now, there are a couple of sources how the Confessor might have been corrupted, or it might also be an evil character, because we only have 7 cards, but we have up to up to 5 liars if we are unlucky, depending on where the Puka is. Yeah. So, whether or not the Plague Doctor is real or not, and whether or not the Puka is next to outcasts or other evil characters, we can have up to 5 liars. Puka does activate before Plague Doctor, and Plague Doctor does choose an uncorrupted character. Okay, that's interesting to know. Yeah. What threw me off last round really was the doppelganger though. I totally discounted that the medium could have been corrupted. So in the end, the question I asked wasn't even helpful because my mistake was even earlier. But I'll keep that in mind. And I think that is also how I expected it to be, because the Puka's wording is villagers adjacent to me are corrupted if possible, which sounds very the other way around, because the Plague Doctor sounds so certain. One good villager is corrupted. This is a definite statement, right? So I figure this only works if it is in that order. So what do we have? We also have 2 active abilities. Also, by the way, backseating allowed if you want to. It doesn't take away fun, any of my fun. And welcome to the channel. Puka is 3 cards. So yeah, I'm really interested by the fact that the Knitter, I don't know, maybe it's not even that helpful, that Knitter and Scout are saying the opposite thing, but they're both being vouched for by the lover. Also, am I getting quieter? Is it my voice or is this something else? I don't know. The other thing is that only one of the outcasts is real. I kind of like the story that the Plague Doctor is the Puka, because this just aligns too well with the Confessor. But also the Puka could be under either the Scout or the Knitter very easily, turning the lover into a liar and making the story still correct. Yeah, Slayer is not really helpful with so many liars on the board. Well, maybe there are not that many. So while we have a maximum of 5 liars, the minimum is, well, the minimum is unlikely, so would be the Puka being sandwiched between Bombardier and Minion, and then it would only be 2 liars. So it could be this the Puka, the Plague Doctor is the Puka, the Confessor is the Minion. And then the Scout would be lying as well. So this doesn't work. No, this can't be. So it's definitely more than 2 lies, which is not that helpful of a statement. There is only 1 pair of evil. This feels like the kind of board where I'll have to reduce the odds early on with a kill just to get more information. This feels like a board that I can't solve without using the kill button, just to test the theory. But if we have to use it, I'd like to at least make it certain afterwards. So for example, I could use the Plague Doctor and the Confessor. then depending on what he says. So what if he says the confessor is corrupted? Do I just trust it then? And kill whatever he's pointing at? But if he says the confessor is corrupted, number 4 is evil, then that didn't help me at all. What if he says he isn't corrupted? Then he's basically saying the confessor is evil, in which case I could then kill it. And if the confessor was lying, the plague doctor was lying, then I kill the plague doctor. No, the bombardier is real. So that's a 50% chance to get into a game that is probably solvable. It feels better to start with the Slayer somewhere. Or at the very least not use the plague doctor on the confessor. Maybe use this plague doctor on the Slayer. And if he says the Slayer is corrupted, I could then verify that and also pointing at something to kill. No, actually, I could not verify it with the Slayer themselves. I also feel like it might be just a helpful move to use the Slayer on the Plague Doctor and have a good chance because I know one of them is evil. But there are also so many ways to slay. Let's just do that. Okay, couldn't. Sometimes I'm overthinking it, trying to solve it. So he is saying the Plague Doctor is good, which is kind of saying the Bombardier is evil. Which doesn't mean much because there's so many ways he could have been lying. Do I just kill the Plague Doctor then? And doing so would get me more information about the Slayer and potentially the Confessor. Okay, the Plague Doctor is real, which means the Bombardier is definitely evil, which makes sense. The story from the Slayer now makes sense. We are now also wondering, okay, so the Confessor is not corrupted, which means he's evil. Villager safe. Shaman. There are 2 same villager roles in current village. And the Bishop. Learn up to 3 characters. Among them are 1 villager, 1 outcast, and 1 evil role if possible. And I think if he's lying, they are all either all good or all villagers, one of them. If lying, all characters are villagers. Okay. We have 2 knights, 3 knights. So one of them got added by the shaman. I think probably. Yeah, has to be. So the knights are very likely to be real. Architect. Both sides are equally evil. The medium is saying 7 is real. I am 3 cards away from a corrupted characters, but we don't have any. Can we have a corruption? Could be a drunk. And he's more likely to prioritize drunks. So there could be a drunk. Which is either this knight or this alchemist. But this can't be this knight because the drunk only hides as a character that is not in play. So this might be a drunk. But if this was a drunk, then his statement, would then be true because nobody is, no one was corrupted around me. But the drunk has to lie. So this can't be a drunk. This can't be a drunk. There are no other ways to add corruption into the game, which means this bard is lying. And for the same reason, but he might be the drunk himself. So the bard might be drunk or evil. In both cases, this medium is lying. Yes. And we know one of the knights is evil. Don't we? Unless there's a doppelganger. There might be a doppelganger. So that, yeah, there might be a doppelganger. What do we know about what the bishop says? 2, 6, 7. That is these three. So there's one minion, one villager, one outcast. So that is only saying that this knight is not not a doppelganger. The thing is, there's either a drunk or a doppelganger, but not both. So it might be these two are evil, bard and medium are evil, and there's a doppelganger among the knights. Or one of them might be a drunk, the other one evil, and there is an evil character among the knights. But in both cases, also the bishop and the alchemist are real. Now, both the bard and the medium being evil really works well with the theory that the architect is saying, that both sides are equally evil. The other way was one is drunk, one is... So if this medium is evil, then it would have to be... I think we just killed the bard, right? And odds are good that we just win. Or we can attack the knights because they don't die if they are good. So we know this one is good, definitely. And if one of them, they can't be drunk. Yeah, we just kill the knights. They are all good, which means both of them are evil. Art and medium. Easy. New characters. The puppeteer. Game start. Random adjacent villager becomes a puppet if possible. It's evil but cannot lie. This is interesting. This is different from... so they can't be evil and corrupted. That's small print that got added. I think it was the same way before the patch, but it's now, yeah, better explained, better worded. And the Rambler is new, which, yeah, looks very much like another streamer. I tell you something really interesting. Adjacent. Truthful characters tell me to shut up instead of sharing the info. Yeah, let's see how he plays. He's new. So, we start with the medium saying this confessor is real. This confessor is Sasto. There are no corrupted characters with a poisoner in play. Very unlikely. There's also a Plague Doctor. Potentially, one of them might be fake. Also, why is this medium not saying shut up? I disagree with this. You don't rent it. So, why is this confessor not saying shut up? I wonder if this also impacts the active abilities. We will probably learn in a moment. The architect is saying the left side is more evil, which is interesting considering that I'm already sussing out medium and confessor, who are both on the right side. We have two jesters, which could work with the shaman. In fact, I think it's the only way the shaman makes sense if those jesters are villagers, which probably means they are both villagers. And I put them somewhere in the checkmark a little into the corner, not like I usually write it down, because they still might be a puppet. So if those two are good, or villagers, and we also have the outcast on the left side, of which one of them is probably fake. That's a 50-50. But all of those are on the left. Ah, okay. So if the Plague Doctor is evil, then the Architect might be true. So I'm inclined to... So there's a 50-50 here and a 50-50 here, which is two 50-50s landing on the Rambler, making him sus, which also works with the Architect. The only thing that would tell a different story is that we do have a physic confessor who might be corrupted and the bard who's saying there are no corrupted characters. But is there really a way that there are no corrupt characters? Isn't this just 100% a lie? I'm not 100% that he's lying, but very sure, very sus. Now, what we can also do is use the Jester ability and see what he says in combination with being next to the Rambler. So, for example, let's just use it like this. So the Jester is saying the Rambler is real. And this medium is saying the Rambler is fake. So it might be the medium and the confessor, because this medium story doesn't make too much sense. That's what I'm thinking right now. These medium and confessor as a pair are wrong. So I kind of want to kill the Plague Doctor. Maybe. Okay, this worked. This was a Plague Doctor which we can then use to see whether or not someone was corrupted for sure, for certain. But right now we kind of know that the medium is... this medium is lying. Which means the confessor is fake. Was a puppet. Okay, Now, that means that either the bard or the judge are the puppeteer. And we have the architect saying the left side is more evil, which makes the bard more likely. Also, the bard story doesn't make sense. And we're looking for one more evil character. We're looking for the poisoner. Now, the architect story makes... Wait, not quite yet. Might be a poisoner on the right side. And having the architect corrupted. So it might be the architect, and he poisoned the medium, or it might be the medium and he poisoned the architect. Either way, both of them are lying. Could it be someone on the left and the medium is lying for any other reason? I don't think so. So it has to be one of them. Which we can easily check with this jester, which we now know is truthful and uncorrupted. So, for example, if we do this and it says 2 evils, we know that's true. We know the medium is the evil one. And we get one more new role, the dreamer. I think the dreamer also got changed. Learn a role that's among them and one that's not. Yeah, the dreamer used to be a little bit lackluster before the patch, with a very confusing info text that most of the time did nothing. Okay, what do we have? We got the wretch. The wretch is always good. We love her. We have a baker, and as the baker got revealed, he said he's the original baker. So if the first baker says they are real, that's usually a good sign. This baker, on the other hand, is a little bit questionable, because after he got revealed, none of the other characters after got converted into a new baker, which might be true if he got corrupted, or if there are no villagers in this lineup. Number 7 says this is a real baker. Number 3 says 9 is a real jester. And we have an active ability, and 2 judges also have active abilities. And we have 1 hidden outcast role. We do have definite 2 outcasts. So we have either a doppelganger, which would explain the 2 judges, or a drunk. But we also have 2 mediums. So, can we make sense of that? I think the best way forward is to use the judge's abilities as active. Maybe on something that we trust as truthful already, like the original baker here. It could also be both bakers lying, right? Also, this baker is saying they were a judge, which would have made this 3 judges to start with, which makes it a little bit more likely, if the story is true, that this is a doppelganger and not an not a drunk. Does it make sense? Yeah, right? So we could use the judge on the baker to suss out if either of the judges is evil or lying. We're only looking for... Yeah, the thing is, we are only looking for 2 evils, and we have up to 4 liars if this is a drunk, but it's also possible that we only have 2. Now, we don't have too many sources of corruption. We only have the poisoner or a potential drunk, but these 2 judges are definitely sus. This judge and this judge, I suspect one of them to be the poisoner. Especially since this baker is getting vouched for by this medium. Might even be both. So, what I would like to do is, because if they are a poisoner, they are themselves not corrupted, is use this on the baker. But I trust this baker, so why do you say he's lying? I'll just kill you on suspicion alone. Perfect. Now we're only looking for the bar. We could check the judge by using his active, like we did before. But does this, if we do that, does this solve for all possibilities? So does this make sure that neither the dreamer nor the jester? So what if he ends up saying the baker is saying the truth? Because if he's saying the baker is saying the truth, which we would believe him, then we still don't know if it's... Wait, no, we do. Then we know it's the dreamer, right? But he's saying it's lying, so you're evil. Off with your head. New character, the witness. Learn a character that was affected by an evil ability. Okay, let's reveal the board. We have 2 evils, a poisoner and a bar. We have 2 outcasts. This one we know is real, but we don't know if this bombardier is real, because there might also be a drunk or doppelganger. Now, what else do we have? We have the new fortune teller. Learn if any of them is evil. The witness is saying 3 was affected by an evil. Poison is 3 cards away from closest evil. Okay, that's basically... So this is important. This is basically saying that... Wait, is this even possible with the wedge? So this is basically saying... I didn't mean to remove this. This is basically saying that 8, 7, 1, and 2 are good, right? Because they are all close to the wedge. Which would then only leave Architect and Slayer as the furthest distance. So this doesn't work. This is just impossible because of the wedge. Yeah, the poisoner has to be closer to another evil than 3 cards because of the wedge. Just doesn't work any other way. Now, why would he be lying? Either because he's evil himself, or because he was corrupted. Sources of corruption are either the poisoner on the slayer or the witness, or because he's drunk. A little less likely, because we still have the possibility that there is no drunk at all to begin with. And because we also have the possibility that he's just evil. So what I want to do is... do I just want to kill him? Also, the alchemist is saying that one of these got cured. One of these was cured, which doesn't work on the fortune teller. He can't cure the drunk. So he's basically saying that the bombardier is the poisoner, because that's the only way to get corruption into this mix, into his range, and that would work with his story of the witness saying he was affected. So this story makes sense. And then the poisoner is 3 cards away from his closest evil. That would work with the wretch. So maybe it is the architect and the slayer. We also have 2 slayers, I'm now noticing. So that's my current theory, is that it is this architect, this bombardier and this slayer. Oh wait, I was counting from the architect to 3, not from... Wait. 1, 2... So... I'm sorry, it's this bombardier and this fortune teller? That would work. That would make sense with everyone's... what everyone is saying. And then the scout is the drunk. But then why do we have 2 slayers? No, that doesn't work. What if it is... because if the bombardier is an evil, then we don't have a drunk. And this card is just fake, the hidden card. So maybe the alchemist is just lying. Maybe the alchemist is lying. Why is the alchemist lying? Maybe the alchemist is the drunk. Like this. It's really difficult to draw with my mouse to write. So maybe the alchemist is drunk. Because if he's just evil, but I don't think he's real. He's saying the truth. So he could also be corrupted. Yeah, I don't see other ways to make this sense. Make this make sense. It's unlikely for him to be the drunk because we still haven't explained the 2 slayers. If the bombardier is real, then we don't have a doppelganger. One of the slayers would then be evil. So could it be the alchemist and the scout? Could it be the alchemist and the scout? That would make the architect lying. So he is then corrupted. In which case both slayers... No, it has to be one of the slayers, right? It has to be one of the slayers. The only way it is not one of the slayers is if It could also be both Slayers now that I think about it. But, maybe. But, the only way we don't have a doppelganger is if the Bombardier is real. If the Bombardier is real, yeah, then one of the Slayers is evil. But that would make the Architect really, really difficult to be truthful. I think, do we just kill the Alchemist? Okay, never mind. I'm confusing myself. Okay. So the Alchemist is saying is real, uncorrupted. That just means the Bombardier is fake. This Architect is corrupted, which means the left side is more evil. Which means we have right side is more evil, but in reality it's both sides the same. That means the fortune teller is truthful, and the witness is saying the truth. So one of them is... So we could use the Slayers on each other, and at least one of them should kill the other. They couldn't, because one of them is a doppelganger, right? Then that only leaves the scout. No, evil wins. Ah, I should have used, and there was an active ability as well that I didn't even use. Okay. Lost my first card. Yeah. I was too quick on the trigger. But I've been really patient this run. I'm usually a lot quicker to kill and shoot and then be wrong. Okay, let's take a look. The Wretch is always good. The Lover is, at the very least, seeing the Wretch as evil, so the story is not immediately false. Number 1 says 8 was affected. We have 2 Slayers, but we don't have a Shaman, and we don't have a Doppelganger. So these are 50-50. One of them has to be evil, because there's no other ways to get 2 Slayers into the game. This Lover is definitely lying, because he doesn't identify the Wretch. Do we just kill the Lover, or do we think that he got corrupted? For example, by a poisoner. So the Gemcraft is saying number 1 is good. And if we kill the Lover, do we use it with our own knife, or do we use the Slayers? We do have 2 outcasts, and both of them are probably real, because we don't have a reason to believe they are not. Even though it says only 1 outcast, the second one gets added by the Chancellor. So I think this Plague Doctor is real. Which means this is not a poisoner. Which means the only way the Lover got corrupted would have been by the Plague Doctor, not by the poisoner. Which is unlikely, because there's so many other characters to poison. Or are there? There's 9 characters. We have 3 evils, 2... There's only 4, so it's a 25% chance. That's still very possible. But I think I'm confident enough to just pull the trigger on the Lover. And that was the Puka. That's really good to know, because the Puka also corrupts a lot of people. It's a good thing to find where the Puka is. Nice. Now we're looking for 2 more characters, and 1 or 2 of them might have been corrupted, depending on how the poisoner is positioned. Again, we know one of the Slayers is evil. And if they are evil, that also means they are not corrupted. Learn a role that's among them and one that's not. That doesn't really help too much. I'm wondering whether or not I just kill the streamer to verify the lover, since we have the life. And also think of ways, how could the Slayer have been corrupted by evil? That only works if this Slayer is a poisoner, right? Which only works if this... We're still searching for the Counselor. It has to be the lover or the Slayer. So that's a 50-50 as well. So if this is the Counselor, this would work. This would work if this is the Counselor, this is the Poisoner, and the other Slayer got poisoned. Would be a way for the board to work out. All the stories make sense, or that story makes sense, which we could then also try to verify with the Dreamer first. Are there other ways this board can be constructed with all stories making sense? So the Slayer could be the Counselor. Then, and the Dreamer, the Poisoner, and the Lover is just corrupted? No. And the Witness is corrupted? No, that doesn't work, because yeah, if the Dreamer is the Poisoner, then either the Lover or the Witness would have need to be lying, but in that case they would both be saying the truth. So I think it's just this is the Counselor and this is the Poisoner. A poet, learn random info. Let's take a look at the deck. We have 2 Bombardiers. We have 3 Evils, a Minion, a Shaman, and a Puka. 1 Outcast, so one of these, probably one of these Bombardiers is fake. Could it be both? No. Could be both, actually. There are 2 same villager roles, so that makes these mediums very likely to be real villagers, which again doesn't mean that they are saying the truth, but at the very least they are minions, villagers. Closest evil is counterclockwise, so he is saying the closest evil is somewhere here, which is also then saying the Plague Doctor is good. The Lover is saying both Bombardiers are evil, whereas this medium is saying this Bombardier is good. The Bishop is saying between 2, 4, and 8. There's 1 of each card type. 2, 4, and 8. And 6 is saying 7 is a real knight. And that's all the info we have. And we have 1 active ability, which we might need to use, maybe. Now, an interesting idea is to just kill the Lover. I don't know why I'm killing the Lovers so much. I promise it's not prejudice. But if we kill the Lover, and she turns out to be real, then we immediately outed both Bombardiers, which would be really helpful. But she could also turn out to be good but corrupted, which then doesn't help as much. Or if she turns out to be evil, then, well, that's just good. That's 1 evil dead. Other theory, we kill the Bishop. If the bishop turns out to be real, then we know that 2, 4, 8, one of them is evil. Which means... what does that mean? We could also try to just verify whether or not the knight here is real or not by trying to knife him, but knife her. But again, she might be corrupted, in which case we would have killed her by accident. I'm still inclined to just kill the lover. Let's see. Okay, now we know both bombardiers are evil. And we killed the minion and the shaman. Unfortunately, not the puka. That would have helped more. We know the lover was real. Now we know that... that's it. We don't get too much information out of that. We know... wait. Never mind. We do know that this medium is lying. But we also know that this medium is a villager, which means one of these, either the bishop or the knight, is the puka. Which means the medium, we're only looking for the puka. Neither of them are yeah, these are all good. And truth saying, uncorrupted. Or could this be the puka themselves? This could also be the... no, it can't be the puka themselves because, again, it has to be a villager because of the shaman. 6 is saying 7 is real. This doesn't exclude the puka from the knight, because the puka would protect herself by turning the medium on 6 into a liar. What about the bishop? 2, 4, 8. There's one of each. 2, 4, 8. This is a villager. This is a villager. So we know the bishop is lying. And that's it. And the Lilith. I play run around with the Lilith. And maybe I turn her off afterwards if that's possible. The Lilith adds a timer to a revealing card. So I need to be careful. Actually, I should have been slower. Every 4th card I reveal. Not unreveal. She kills a character, starting with villagers. So before I reveal more cards, let's think about what we already have. So 2 is saying 1 is good. 1 is saying I am 4 cards away from the closest evil. This is basically giving this much information. This is basically saying it's only those 2 cards are evil, which we know is not true because there's 3 evil cards. So we know the hunter is lying for a fact, for definitely. Now, why might he be lying? Well, we have 2 outcasts. Both of these exist. The drunk and the plague doctor exist because there's only 1 outcast added to the deck, and the second one got added by the counselor. So he might have been corrupted by the plague doctor. He might be the drunk, or he might be one of the 3 evil characters. But the poet is saying he's not. So maybe he's the drunk or corrupted. That's the most likely. That's more likely than him being evil. Okay. We could also use the druid on the hunter. I think I just beat the card dying from the Lilith. Okay, similar problem here. And let's unreveal 3 more cards. And the last card we wait and take a look at the information first. So, this Enlightened is vouching for this Empress indirectly. We do have a Plague Doctor here. And we know one of those hunters is lying because they are evil, and the other one is lying because they are the drunk. I am thinking. So the reason why I believed the hunter on number 1 is corrupted rather than an evil character is because the poet was vouching for him. But now that I see that the Plague Doctor is over here, I'm thinking, where is the Chancellor? Because he has to be next to either the Plague Doctor or the drunk. And there needs to be a reason why the poet is lying. So I'm thinking maybe the poet is the Chancellor. And the hunter is the drunk. So he turned the whatever this was into a drunk, residing as a hunter, and put himself next to it. So I'm thinking about killing both of these. Or at the very least, putting suspicion on them. Pointing my fingers at them. And this hunter is the drunk. Not the drunk. This hunter is just evil. This hunter is just evil. Because... yeah. So the easiest way to verify my theory... I don't know if this is 100% verification. Didn't think this through. But it's quick and easy fixes. If I think this hunter is the drunk... put a Plague Doctor on him. And he is saying 1 is corrupted and 9 is evil. Which works really well with my theory. I believe this. Oh. The Plague Doctor was lying? Oh right, because... no. Huh? Maybe there's... maybe there's something here? Okay, so this Plague Doctor is fake, obviously. Ah, I see. So this is the drunk. Obviously, now we know number 1 is not corrupted. Also, we know 2, 4, 8 are good now. 2, 4, 8 are good. And oh, now the problem is we don't know whether or not this was a drunk or a Plague Doctor. But I think the Lilith kills villagers first. I believe. Not sure. Definitely kills good characters first. Okay, I might have made this impossible, but we know the Empress is saying the truth. 1 is evil. 1, 3, 4. Only one of them. Yeah, one of those hunters is evil, we know that. Which means this druid is definitely good. We also know this Enlightened said the truth and is good. So now the issue is... are maybe both of them evil? Is it just both of them? But no, this can't be because the Empress is saying only 1 is evil. And even if she is corrupted, then both of them would be good as well. That can't be. What am I missing? I am missing that we definitely know... oh, no. this is not a drunk, because a drunk is lying and the cancel is right next to it. So we know number 5 is a drunk. Also, oh, I also was missing that the drunk can't hide as a character that is in play, so it is just both hunters, right? And maybe the poet is corrupted by a hidden plague doctor? Is that what it is? So what we can do is pick 3 characters. We pick the 5. There are no outcasts. That's a lie as well. It's just everybody's lying? Why? This has to be an outcast, right? Unless... Okay, different theory. The Enlightened is the drunk, and the Empress is evil, which leaves 1, 3, and 4 as good. And we have a shaman. I forgot about the shaman. They're same villagers. Well, yeah, that's the solution. The Enlightened and the Empress are... No. Okay, I was so sure I had it. What was the solution? Number 4 is the drunk. Number 1 was evil. And what was number 5? It doesn't tell me. And the druid is corrupted. Ah, and the number 5 then was the plague doctor. No. Ah, right, because there are 2. Yeah. I'm ignoring truths and deductions I made earlier. I think I'll leave it here today. I hope you like the game. I hope you like the stream. This is such a fun game. I'll play it some more. I highly recommend it. It's free to play at the moment. So it has a playtest going. Eventually it will probably cost money. And you need to request access, but I got mine immediately. Basically instantly. I think it's still ongoing. You should be able to play it. Is what I believe. Let me know if I was wrong. I'm curious about things like that as well. And yeah, my recommendation is to play this with friends on a couch. If they have a similar taste like you or like I do. But it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun to just talk about it, because it's similar to playing a social deduction game, like a multiplayer social deduction game like Werewolf or Mafia, even when you're playing this with friends, but you don't get into any arguments. It's like playing a social deduction games with friends, and you know for sure they are on the same team as you. That's what it feels like, even if it's technically not the correct explanation of what's happening. Yeah, but it gives the feeling of playing a social deduction game with your friends while knowing, hey, you're on the same team. Which feels great. If you've ever played a social deduction game and you realized, oh, you're the werewolf or you're the mafia together with your best friend, and you look at each other and you know, like, this is gonna be a fun round. It's similar, except of course you're playing on the good side. I think that's the only downside in this game, is that you're always the good guys. You're never the bad guys. You're always just on the deducing role, not the lying, the deceiving role. But if you're anything like me, you also have a lot of fun playing the deducing role. And I think if you're playing games like Mafia or Werewolf and can only have fun in the werewolf role, then you're missing out on a lot. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun. Highly recommend. I'll probably play some more in other streams. I'll maybe make some more content that is less like gameplay and more like tutorial-like. But I'm not a master at this game. At any measure. Yeah. other games that I'm going to play soonish are probably Space Haven, which released earlier. I think within last week or something like that. And probably some more Wildmender in between, which is my comfort game. And also, starting next month, I mentioned this before, is Path of Exile 2. There's going to be no stream tomorrow, but there is going to be a stream on Wednesday night. Alright. Thank you. Bye bye.